One more question. Gentlemen.
I'd like an insight into the future, actually, from both Max and Mark, in terms of, I think we've established that the cult of celebrity is corrosive and it becomes ever more corrosive. So what's the potential of that taking a reverse in the future? And by that, if you look at those common-denominator programming like Britain's Got Talent, most people would claim an intellectual superiority. If you pulled them up in the street and said, do you watch that? A lot of people deny it or they claim an intellectual superiority over it. Likewise, most of the media does. It's constantly denigrated in the press, yet the viewing figures are huge. So, therefore, that would indicate that people kind of see something wrong about it.
Do you watch it?
I'd watch it, yeah, sure. Yeah, I've no intellectual superiority.
I don't understand.
But is there a reverse? Potentially, you guys, you particularly Max, I've been back to the days when we genuinely had talent. And most people appreciate talented people. So can there be a reverse of the collective psychology in it?
Well, I'm doing my best to understand it. I only went to a secondary modern school. The fact is that if you win Britain's Got Talent, presumably you, in the views and the eyes of most people out there, have got some kind of talent. Susan Boyle, people like her voice, so they would potentially buy her records. The fact that at the moment 14, 15 million people watch it is because it's something that the masses like.
For sure, it engages, yeah.
As to intellectual superiority, I should think that it's probably, if you can read or write, then anybody would feel, possibly, and a lot of them you see. But in terms of, I don't quite understand, in terms of the future, it's all commercial situation. You buy a newspaper because it fulfills a need. You watch a television show because you find it entertaining. Unfortunately, we all look upon things very differently. So as long as Britain's Got Talent puts mums on seats, it will still be there, therefore there will still be people auditioning. And it also gives newspapers, you read tomorrow's papers, there will be plenty of tabloids about Britain's Got Talent because it sells newspapers. They didn't create it, they feed off it. So that's the way the media, the entertainment, the whole thing works. They feed off each other. As long as that's the system, it will continue. And every year there's more and more people wanting to get famous.
So it seems to get ever more corrosive, though, because it got a natural...
Well, I've never used the word corrosive, you have.
Mark, you say, do you think...
I think that the worrying thing for me is that, of course, it creates popular icons, possibly even one-hit wonders, but it's making a lot of the record companies incredibly lazy because they're not putting the investment into possibly the next Rolling Stones.
Don't forget we're downloading all the rest of it. They don't make the money anymore. Why do you think you've got Eagles and Stones and everybody touring all the time? Because they're not getting the money from records anymore. The record companies are ceasing to have anything like the power they used to have. It's changed.
Agreed, because they lost the will to work and they lost the ability to try and make those things. Record companies I used to work, they threw things against the wall, and if it stuck, they ran with it. If it didn't, there's been some great people out there, still got knowledge who've managed to get through because of the tenacity to do it. Susan Boyle has, I don't know, have millions and millions and millions of hits on YouTube. With those millions, the proof of the pudding is when millions and millions and millions of people buy a third and fourth record. Because she's digitally...
That's easy to say, of course. I mean, the whole fame business is a dream, and it works for some people. But it doesn't. It always has done.
But we're still selling people's records, Bob Marley records and whatever.
Yeah, but there's still hundreds of artists that came about in the 60s and 70s that didn't do any good at all, and loads of them that had a few minutes. So it's not everybody that's a huge star from the 60s and 70s.
Admittedly not.
It's always been the same. It's just the process gets faster and faster and faster all the time.
But I just hope we still have the real sort of genuine engines of creativity in terms of music left, and we're not left with those. That's all important.
Agents?
No, the agents, they're sort of people who are, I hope we can still produce the likes of Beatles or Stones or David Bowie or whatever, that were 20 or 30 years ago but still selling in enormous numbers. Jimi Hendrix.
That's more likely to happen through television or a show like that.
I don't believe that Britain's broadcast will actually create any
It's now 7:32. I was told at the very latest we have to call it a day at 7:30. So I want to thank you for being such an interesting audience. I hope you enjoyed it. My thanks to